Ngosi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. I'm on my own today, so let's have fun. And everyone is taking a day off Thursday and Mondays. Sometimes I'm on my own or sometimes I'm with someone else. So let's just dive into the topic. So the topic today is how to maintain your relationship or resolution as part 2. So on part 1, last week, I looked into forgiveness and we looked into problem evaluation. Problem evaluation is a must in a relationship. And we looked into change good for the better. And we talk about intimacy, romance, intimacy and romance. So and that was it for last week. So if you've not watched part 1, you need to watch part 1 before you watch this part 2. So right now we're gonna look up into change your blame, then mentality, and the blame mentality when it comes to a relationship. It's another big no. It's a no in a relationship, and letting other people the blame is an act that will never do you to bring you to any good. You have to learn as a person, if you are in a relationship, you have to learn how to change this negative mentality. And when you blame someone in a relationship, no one is perfect in a relationship. Men make mistakes, women make mistakes, and we have a choice. If we decide to be with that person, if we decide to stay in that relationship, that means we are saying we are okay with whatever is going on. There's a difference between blaming somebody and communicating and resolving things. You can communicate without making the other person feel that they are wrong, or feel that they always hurt you all the time, they always make mistakes. But you can focus when you are resolving problems in a relationship, where you sit down, you communicate your want, you communicate your desires, you communicate whatever the problem that it is going on in that relationship. You sit down and you communicate it, and getting rid of the blame in your relationship is very, 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 very important. If as far as blaming is concerned, it is sometimes easier to see your spouse at fault, to see those to see your spouse at fault. And one of the biggest issues with couples at that point is pointing fingers at one another, or to one another when things go wrong. We point fingers. But what we don't understand is relationship, it takes two to tango. We can point fingers at somebody, we can try to find a fault in someone, but relationship, it takes two to tango. When things go wrong in a relationship, if you enter that problem with the spirit of resolving the issue, not wanting to win the arguments, not wanting to prove a point. Some people, they want to prove a point, but in reality, if you want to improve your relationship and make it thrive, and last for a very, very long time. Everything lies to knowing and challenging these defenses that you have. If you believe that you have these defenses of blame, you have, instead of adapting to that blame mentality, choose to focus on the attention of the flow of your of the choose the to focus on the attention of the flows of your partner. And when we blame, we choose to focus on the flaws of our spouse. But instead, sometimes it is better to actually, instead of focusing on what this person is doing wrong, what that person is doing wrong, what are they not doing right, look at your own limitation. Everyone has a limitation in relationship. Look at your own limitation. What is a stumbling block that is limiting you to live a life that you wanted to live, a life to have that loving, fulfilling relationship? Look at your life, your limitation. And when you do that, you will find out that you are not building a case. When we look at the blame game, we're building a case. It's like I'm in prison, honey. It's like I'm in prison. Like we put our spouse in prison. And in our head, we find a judge in our head. We find a lawyer in our head. And when we find a judge, we find a lawyer in our head, we build a case. Now, when we build a case, now we have to defend ourselves. We have to defend it to prove a point. When I'm speaking, does that sound like a relationship at all? It does not sound like a relationship at all. So when you build a case, now in my head, instead of looking at my limitation, now I'm building a case. When I'm building a case, I want to prove a point that you hurt me. I want to prove a point that you always you always forget my birthday. You always forget our wedding anniversary. I want to prove a point that every time when we go out, you always do something wrong. So now we've built a case. Now we have to bring the judge in our head. There is a judge, there is a lawyer, there is everything. We have this in our head. Our family now, they are there in our head. They're gonna make a decision to judge the case. To when we are speaking to the judge, you want the outcome, and the outcome that what you're looking for is your spouse to be guilty, but it is no longer a relationship anymore. That's why when people are dating, they end up, when people are married or they're not married or they're dating, they end up feeling like they are stuck in this prison where there is no way out, because there's blame. And when my spouse does something wrong, I'm gonna keep reminding them for what they have done. But instead of, when someone does something wrong, you sit down, communicate with them. When you communicate with them, and you're not building a case. Case building is one of the biggest issues in all relationship. But we can try to avoid it if we want our relationship to be different. But if we want our relationship to be always crowded with the different cases, day in, day and night, you've had me, and we remind them what they have done, and we remind our spouse the things that they don't do well, and the things that they are not good at. We look at those things and we build a case. If you agree with me, feel free to comment, and feel free to talk about your story on the um, chat, on the chat. Please feel free to comment. We build a case against our spouse, and when the blame is already going back and forth with this thing, there is no way out. it gets out of control. And it will no longer be possible to resolve who is really at fault until you bring the therapist. Leave the family out of it. When there is blame in the relationship, leave the family out of it, leave the children out of it. The battle could have won if both parties, both men and a woman, they would have realized that actually we don't need to blame each other. We want to come together as one. Fight with grace. Fight in a relationship is allowed, but when the relationship, the other person is building a case against the other person, it's no longer a relationship. That needs the judge. And the judge, the only way the judge can judge the case, the judge will come in. This is the judge where it's either separation or we stay together. This is the judge where we'll come in and say, let's take a break. Or, I don't think this is working. That's the judge. Or, I need some time out. It's a break, time out. The other choice we have to resolve the issue is to really find a good therapist. You need a good one. When the blame has built up and built up and built up, you need a good therapist. It's good also to have a therapist in case things don't work in the relationship. Whenever you feel like a therapist is like a buddy, so it's good to always have a therapist. So feel free to type whatever your experience or the experience that you have seen happening with other people. So feel free to actually type. And if you want to get closer with your spouse again, you have to let go. And letting go of what's no longer serving you is not easy. It requires you to divorce your egos. It requires you to look at your life and be honest with yourself and really ask yourself, what do I really want in this relationship? Is this woman, like if you don't have children, is this woman the woman that I can walk down the aisle and say I do? If she's the one, is this worth it for me to lose this person for something that it can be resolved? So you're gonna have to look at all your life, in analyze it and define it. And when you look at your life, let's say it's a man, woman, you look at your man and say, this man, is this the man that I can walk down? You do not walk down the aisle because somebody has said sorry to you. If you know that you are not a good match, we do not go and say I do. Because the moment we say I do, some people resolve problems by getting married. Some people resolve problems by getting down on their knees to show my spouse that I am actually serious about her. But it doesn't change that the case is still there. So you can focus on the case. If you feel that this person, or if you are married and you look at this person and say, actually, this person she's a good person or he's a good person, we are actually connected, we have this unbreakable bond, the unbreakable connection, so you can sit down and look at how to resolve the problem. Get a therapist, or if you can do it by yourself, you can do it by yourself, or you can do deliverance. If you are a Christian, you can do deliverance. You can fast for your marriage, or if things are not okay, you can fast for your marriage, or if things are not working, you can get a therapist. Bring a therapist. When you are looking for breakthrough, fasting, it means that you are searching through within, because that person we always say what's on the inside of you is greater than what's on the outside. So when you fast, for those who are Christian, when you fast, you are activating your winning spirit, the spirit of the truth, that it will tell you, will show you how things are going. You'll be honest with you, show you your life, where your life, what you need to, how you need to resolve these problems. Resolving problems, it normally starts with you, within. It doesn't start on the outside. Resolving problems, it starts within. Whenever I have problems, um, whenever things are not going well in my life, I always look at my life within. I always look back at my childhood. I always look back my mother. I always look at my mother's behavior when I was growing up. Analyze my mother's behavior. Analyze my father's behavior. Am I being like mother, like daughter? Am I being like daughter, like father? I analyze, look at my grandparents. Um, I look at my ancestors, the history with my ancestors. Then you have to cut that cycle. You can cut the cycle that keep repeating itself. Um, you can cut the cycle, the roots of the problem. So when you do that, so you look at the things that are really, really causing problems in your relationship. And when you do that, when you're looking at things that are causing, that are triggers, the triggers that are uh, that we don't expect. So I look at my life. I do my life. I check my lifestyle. Checking my lifestyle, it means I have to look at myself within, and I have to check in with me, and I have to be honest with myself. And if I'm honest with myself, then I look at my bloodline on my mother's side. How did my mother? I look at my life, my parents, my dad. How were they like? How was their behavior like? If I inherited their behavior, so those are the things that you need to look at and then break whatever you see, because every behavior, there is something behind it. When we behave, when we start building cases after cases against our spouse, that means that there is a behavior that is making us do what we do. It could be something that we watched our parents in our childhood. I've never witnessed my parents fighting, and that affected my relationship. The good, the bad, it will affect your relationship. Growing up as a child, my parents, it's not that they didn't fight, they did, but in the bedroom without me in the house. So when I was older, it affected me. When I enter a relationship and somebody wants to fight me, I'm like, mm-mm. Nomsa's world, you love each other, you don't fight each other. So that affected me. So I had to go for therapy, believe me or not, to actually realize that actually people are different. It's okay to fight, but I didn't know that fighting was normal, because I never saw my parents fighting. But it was not that my parents did fight, they did, but in secret. But nowadays, our generation, if you go to town, giving it all, giving it all, you'll find the couples, they're giving it all. You don't pay the bills. I pay the bills. You don't do this. I do this. And they're effing and blinding on the street. So, but this is our generation. That generation there was fight. They did fight, but they didn't fight like us. So all those things, it did affect me growing up as a child. So it's something that I had to deal with it, and also I had to learn to communicate my feelings. Learn to communicate your feelings. After you have come down, if you are fighting, and let somebody express. Communicate your feelings and let the other person communicate their feelings, express their own perception. And then it's going to be time for you to actually express your feelings. And also men, mostly this men, don't get angry with me. Men, they do not want confrontation. Men do not want to communicate. Men who likes to communicate is the men that who have gone through the personal development, who have gone through, who know what it feels to let a woman go just like that. And those men, they are willing to communicate. Men don't like, they like to hide under the cupboard like problems that, oh, he's gonna solve himself out, and they hide. They don't want confrontation. They don't want to, as far as they're concerned, they don't want, there are some women who nag, but they take everything when you want to communicate with them, or if there's something that has gone wrong, if they're not into personal development, they don't want to talk about it. They're like, I don't want to talk about it. So, and that is that. But you have to take the blame away, and stay away from using a generalization statement or victimized language if you don't want to go from west to the westest when it comes to your relationship. Once you change the blame mentality, then everything, you will give your relationship a chance to stay passionate. You give a relationship for equally fulfillment. That means this one is fulfilled, this one is fulfilled, and the other one, both of you guys are happy. And when two people are happy in a relationship, you have happy children, you have happy people at work, you have happy friends, and everyone around you will be happy. So you don't have to be happy all the time. It is okay not to be okay. It is okay when you get home not to, when you, if your spouse, they're used to giving you a kiss, you come in, giving you a hug, telling you how much they missed you, give them a chance to do that. If you feel you want to be alone, you can express your feelings and say, I want to be alone. Um, you don't have to give your spouse an attitude. So that is fulfillment in a relationship. How do we project mindset? How do we project a mindset now? We want to project the mindset so that everything feels right. So when we project a mindset, um, is if having an incorrect projected mindset negatively, it can cause a big effect in your relationship. If you let's say you are in a relationship, but you feel that there is no point for you to be loved by anyone or by others, what does that what how will that leave you when someone want to get to know you? So if you believe that there's no need for you to be loved, and that's when you become the taker, not in the needy partner. You become the needy one and the taker one. If you believe that there's nothing to be loved. Because if I enter a relationship and I believe that I love, I want to be loved, and I love myself. Self-care, if I know about self-care and I know how to take good care of myself and I know how to love me first, what do you think? What am I going to do with the person that I'm dating? I am going to share my love with that person. If I understand the self-care, if I understand uh, my identity, if I understand what it means, is what is self-image. If I understand my image, who am I? All this, the big thing, if I know what I want, and self-love, self-care, it means when I enter a relationship, I'm not going to be needy. I'm not going to be the taker. I'm going to be the take and the give. Take and give. I take and I give. So I am going to have this mind of, when I meet a man, how can I save you, my king? How would you like me to treat you? What are your values, my king? How would you like me to communicate with you? How would I kiss you? How can I kiss you? Do you like having a kiss, my king? Do you like holding hands? I like this. I like a man opening cars for me. I like a man who understands my love language. This is my love language. My love language is spending time with me. That quality time, that's my love language. My king. So it means if I understand what it means to love it, to love me, what it means to take good care of me, it means whoever I meet, I'm gonna share the experience of the love that I have found with that person. That means when I'm resolving problems, when things are not going my way, I'm just gonna walk away, go for fresh air, go for a walk, 10 minutes or 20 minutes, go for a walk, and then come back home when things are not going my way. That means that I'm going to fight with grace. I'm not going to let any man take advantage of me. I am going to resolve every problem when things are not going well. And that is um, the right mindset. I'm not going to be a taker. I'm gonna want my spouse to stay by my side. It means I love myself. I'm gonna share my love with him, so that he wants to stay by my side. He wants to stand by me. I don't want to feel empty within. My life is fulfilled because I love myself. I've accepted myself. I want to be in a healthy relationship. I'm not gonna think negative about my life. So if you are someone that is projecting negative things in your relationship, there is no way or any chance that your relationship is gonna have a healthy relationship. There is no chance. So how can we project um, the right mindset that would take your relationship towards a better direction? Never assume. That is number one. Never assume that you know your spouse very, very well. Some people, when you meet some people, they say, I know my spouse very well. Yes, you do know your spouse, but never ever assume. When it comes to relationship, no matter how much you know someone, never assume never assume anything about that person. Assuming can take you to places, and sadly those places are not happy ones. When we assume, assuming is the poison that can consume your mind, and it is no good for you. Never ever assume. For instance, the previous partner tends to send secret emails to others, or when you're not looking, or that leads by breakup. Never assume that they are doing the same to you. and then you jump into a conclusion and you start accusing them, when is the truth is the email is only work related and nothing else. Know that not everyone is in the same flow of a previous partner. If you've dated someone who is who didn't treat you well, never assume that the next person you date they're going to treat you the same, because they're not. So if you dated somebody who is, maybe they cheated on you, or maybe there are things that they used to do in a relationship that you didn't like. So when you enter a relationship, make sure that you don't bruise your spouse with the past. There are some people that they don't work on their past, or they do work on their past, and then when they enter a relationship, they will still put the judgment, judge the other person based on the other person, the past spouse. Never assume. It's very, very important to realize that we are all unique, we are all individual, and we are all have our own personalities. We are our own have our own we have our own minds. How we think is different than the other person that we dated. So it is important to actually, it is important to all persons that are the same, that we don't judge our spouse or jumping into conclusion or push our spouse away before you even know them, or whenever we are going through something. Normally when the other person is going through something, instead of explaining what they're going through to the other person, they want the other person to actually be a psychic, be a prophecy, whatever you call it, to prophesize, to guess that, you know what, my spouse is now is going through something. Explain if you are not if you are not okay, or maybe at work things are not going well, or friends things are not going well, family things are not going well. When you come to your spouse, don't don't expect them to guess what you are going through. Explain, communicate. Don't bleed within, bleeding emotionally. Some people, they are in a relationship, they are feeling all alone. What's the point of being in a relationship if you're feeling alone, if you're not going to communicate with your spouse, if things are not going well, if you're not going to actually explain to them and say, things at work are not going well at the moment. You always find someone at work that is going to upset you. There's always one of those. So if things are not going well, instead of bleeding emotionally, or even at home, if your spouse they're not treating you well and you feel all alone, there is no point in staying in that relationship emotionally bleeding. Explain the problem, what you're going through, and now we come to live and stay in the now. How do we stay in the now? Trying to relive in the past is not a good thing in a relationship. Focus on the future, not the past. Some people they got stuck in the past, and that their past, their past is existence into their present now. And then there are some that who live only for the future. There are some people who live only for the future. They can't live in the now. They are there in the future, with their lives already planned out. They have everything figured out. So if you try to change whatever they have planned, it cannot be changed. It's good that you take important lessons from your past and use them uh, for your present, and plan a trip that you have long been waiting for. It is nice, but never let the past take full control of your present, in the same way that you should not plan for every single detail of your future. Living and staying in the now is very, very important. We will let things fall into the right places as they are supposed to. If your decisions are based on your present, not on your past or what you want to be in the future. We know what we want to be. I know what I want to be in the future. One day I want to retire. I want to buy my own island. But I cannot live that life when I'm living in the now. All I know is in the now, I have to work and put away, make enough money for me to be able to buy my own island one day. But I have to live in the now, not in the future. So if I live in the now, that means I'm going to be happy. Not living in the past, not living in the future, but live in the now. When I'm living in the now, it means I don't know what the future holds tomorrow. So I'm living in the now, planning. My life has been planned 5 years. I can plan my life, it's fine. But I can't live the life that the 5 years life in a 1 year's life. I can't live that life. So we got to be grateful. The secret of projecting a good mindset is by being grateful. Be grateful what you have in life and where you are at the present moment. Think blessings all the time that your relationship has in the moment. What's going on in your relationship at this moment? Whatever is that you are grateful of in that relationship, it will help you to project more positive in your life and save you from being drowned in the advertises that might come your way. So you don't want to be drawn into those in the advertise in the adversities. My words are stuck. Adversities that might come in your way. You don't want to get stuck in that. Projecting a good mindset is easy as long as you and your spouse help one another towards the direction where you need to go. You know where you need to go. I don't know where you need to go. You know the desires, the things that you want with your spouse, you want to achieve in life, but it takes two. Your spouse is there, you are there, you know the desires that you want. This is the man, this is the woman. So how do we go for the things that we want in life? He is the provider, he is a man. This is a woman, she is a provider. This is a man, he is an architect. She is a mentor. She mentors her husband. The dreams, when this man is an architect, he has dreams of what kind of a family he wants. He has dreams of where he wants his children, his wife. He wants to live with his wife. This is a man who has a vision. He's an architect. That's why we say he's an architect. He has a vision. An architect they have a vision of the foundation of whatever the life. So the man has a vision, the foundation, he builds the foundation. This one does is this, the woman does, but the woman, she is a mentor. She mentors his vision to come to to pass. If this, we're not by saying that it means that the values of a man, the values of a woman, they both linked together. When we take their values and their beliefs together, they come to an agreement, the two come to an agreement to bring positive results. So he is a provider, she is a provider, he is an architect, she is a mentor. The list goes on in the role of every a man has a role in his relationship with his spouse or a girlfriend. Those girls who meet men without a vision, you can give them red card. If you meet a man that does not have a vision, he need deserve a red card. So you need a man has a vision of how he wants his family. He has a vision like what kind of a city um, do I want to raise my children? What kind of school do I want my children to go to? Is it private or is it a state school? So what kind of a state school? So if I want my children to go to a state school, a man will have a vision that if we live in this city, our children will benefit. And then this woman then comes in because she's a mentor. She makes sure that the vision comes to pass. So both they come to an agreement. And then when both men women have similar values, similar beliefs, you what do they produce? The foundation produces a flower, a beautiful flower that is planted with a beautiful mindset, that is planted with beautiful self-image, that is uh, full of love. Fight with grace. They fight with grace. But if you date a woman who's got issues, you date a man who's got issues. So what are you gonna produce? We all have issues. Don't get me wrong. I have my own issues as a woman, but I've learned to deal with my own issues. So if you date somebody who is got issues, so that means that you're gonna spend all your life being a therapist to that person, trying to fix them. And when you fix them and they tell you that I'm out, I don't think we should be together. And then you go and find somebody else, similar problems, and then you try to fix them. So it is very, very important to know what we want in life. It is very, very important to make sure that we project a positive mindset in our relationship. When we project positive mindset, we build uh, a successful relationship. Having someone that is not we're not perfect, no one is perfect, but having someone that thinks like you, that you have similar values, that wants to build a life, that wants to do something their lives, that want um think like they like, want to resolve problems, that does not build a case against you when things go wrong, and they want to resolve it and they want to let go and they want to move on. But you find there's this man, things go wrong, they want to hide under the table. I'm hiding. uh Problems are gonna sort itself out. Then you've got woman, they want to hold on to the problems. Okay, you had me, you didn't buy me a Christmas present on Christmas Day, so I'm gonna hold you. I'm trying to find things to hold on to here. So how it feels. The earphones I'm holding on. Let's hold on to problems. He's had me on Christmas Day. He's had me on when Christmas Day. This one represent Christmas Day. This one represent Christmas Day, anniversary. You forgot my birthday. I'm gonna hold on. This one. Where's my other earphones? Where's my other earphones? This one represent. This one represent birthday. This one represent when we went out. You took me to the wrong restaurant that I didn't like. You couldn't eat. I will forgive you. So we holding on to the things now. We are walking now. It's so heavy. It is so heavy. There is so much pain. How do I let it go? How do I let it go of things that don't serve me anymore? How do I let it go? I've got so much earphones, guys. I think in the bedroom I've got 2 set, and uh, these ones I've got 3. I've got loads. I think I need to get rid of some. Let it go. So I love music. That's how much I love music. So let it go. So I'm holding on to problems. I'm holding on to the head to that you've had me now. Just let it go. I'm gonna let it go now. Gonna let go. You see these earphones. This one represent you forgetting my birthday. This one represent you forgetting my wedding anniversary. This one represent you maybe not taking me out for meal. Hold on, it's so heavy. The heavy burden. Let it go. It causes stagnance. It causes pain when you're holding on to things. Um, Grudges, you're holding on to blame. It causes so many things. And we can have that life, the happiness. But if you feel like your relationship is there's something that is lacking in your relationship, you can build it. You can talk to your spouse and learn how you can put compassion back to you and your spouse's life. Never ever compare your relationship with someone else's relationship. Some people, they love to compare their relationship. They go to their friends, and friends will be talking about how good their spouse are, and or they'll be looking at the pictures on Facebook. People post the pictures on Facebook, and when their spouse, they get home, they start comparing their lives. You know, they go on a holiday. Did you know they go on a holiday? We don't go on a holiday. All you gotta do you focus on your relationship. Do you, if you love your spouse, really really love your spouse, your spouse is your king, your spouse is your queen. You want to serve them. And when you want to save a man, when you want to save a woman, all you got to do is surrender and ask them, "Well, how can I save you? Tell me how you want me to save you." And they will explain how they want to be treated. Once you know how your spouse wants to be, they want, and their love language as well, and then you can start uh, having compassion and having that understanding of joy in your relationship. And also compassion is a combination of kindness, is a combination of empathy, is fulfilling. And when you feel down, when you feel sad, just talk to your spouse. It makes so much difference. If you want a hug, go get a hug from your spouse. And if you dating someone and you love hugs and they don't love hugs, that's where the problem, where we go back to the selection. Select. Okay. Now we have go on dates, When we select a woman, we select a woman based on our values, our beliefs, based on you look at the woman, you talk to her. Can I really talk freely with this woman? Can she accept me for me? I love football myself. I love sports. When you see me when I'm watching football, I scream, I shout. So if I'm shouting, would you still love me? I'm actually so loud. Everyone tells me to shut up. Hey, shush. So I'm like, hi. So when when the, when you're selecting somebody, there's so many things that you need to look at. You have to not in a judgmental way. Don't judge a man by his shoes, by his shirt, what color shirt or what type, what brand. We don't judge people like that. We are interested in what's on within the inside of that person. Because if you let a beautiful man go or a beautiful woman go, we're talking about what's on the inside. When I talk about beauty, I talk about what's on the inside. Outside uh, is the pleasure that comes with it. So first we look at what's on the outside, because I can guarantee you, you could meet a beautiful woman, but once they start opening their mouth, you wish you've never said hello. So beauty comes from the inside. So first we need to look at that person, what's on the inside. Be curious about what's on the inside, because I can tell you that's why um, you see the people that we call ugly, the world calls them ugly, they are married, they have children. The reason why people like that, they are married, they have children, number one, they know what they want. Number two, they know their values, they know their beliefs, they know what they stand for, and they know what they're looking for. And that's why you see like people saying, why would that ugly woman walking with that handsome man? Because that ugly woman, she is clever inside, she is beautiful inside, and a man will not take his eyes off a beautiful woman. Beautiful, we're talking about what's on the inside. When a woman is beautiful within, you will do anything for them, even leaving work early, even taking a day off working from home just to be with your wife, just to be at home because you want to be at home, even if they're not at home. If a man is beautiful inside, a woman will do anything for that man because they're beautiful inside. But when you see a man that has all these, the height that women are looking for, women likes men with good height, women likes men with muscles. So you see a man who goes to the gym 5 days a week, they are looking good. But here is no good. So that's why I'm saying beauty, what's on the inside is greater than what's on the outside. So it is very, very important to understand that what's on the inside of you is greater than what's on the outside, and make sure that you build and practice compassion, and every single day. Nothing is more powerful than knowing that your spouse cares for you in the same way that you do. When you know that my spouse cares for me and I care for them, and I would do anything for this person, to be with this person, that means even if I need to go to a therapy to solve problems, I will go to a therapy because this is how much I love my family. To be with my family, or to be with my man, to be with my woman. So that is love. Love, it means um, when things are not going well, You don't look at your spouse and start nagging them and telling them what they did wrong or what they didn't do right. It's like the, during pandemic, the abuse um, the abuse went up. I think it was 20%. So we were staying at home. People were staying at home, working from home, the spouse working from home because of the pandemic, because of what was happening in the world. Pandemic was killing people every second, every minute. People were dying. But spouse, instead of looking at life in a different way, to say, you know what, I have my family here. I'm grateful to have this family. For me, um, during the pandemic, I will wake up every morning, look at my family, and I'm like, they are okay. They are here. Instead of looking at my spouse, how annoying he is, he's at home, he's annoying, I'll just look at them and be grateful. And I just thank God that my family are okay. Every single day for me, it was a blessing. And we can all look at life that way, that when things are not going well, just look at your life. Life is a blessing. When someone is breathing, it's a blessing. And when we are dating, sometimes we date people who are messed up. We date people who have their own problems. And when you date someone who's got problems, you have to understand that you cannot control them to be who you want them to be. They are the ones that needs to change. If they accept change, the change will happen. But if they don't, that means that relationship it will stay the way it is. So if you are dating someone and things are not going well, you need to sit down, be honest, evaluate. Will this life ever gonna will these things ever this relationship ever going to get better if the relationship is going to extent where people are getting where the other spouse is getting into depression. Love doesn't have to be a depression. Love does not have to cause anxiety. Love does not have to cause pain. When it gets into a stage where there is so much pain, where there is so much that I can't take this anymore, it is a time where you have to go to a therapy or you stay apart, separate ways. But if things anything can be resolved only if two parties are willing to stay and resolve the problems. It cannot be resolved just by you nagging your spouse and wanting to be like, okay, I am gonna say the wrong words. I'm gonna be a drama queen. Saying the wrong words at the wrong time can wreak havoc your relationship. Before you open your mouth and let things out, think. It is important to think things through. Avoid hurting the other person's feelings. Avoid it. Because if you say whatever you want to say, you can choose your words and choose them wisely. Give words even no matter how angry you are, still uplift that person. Uplifting someone is hard. It changes someone even if you're fighting. It gives life to dead things. When we speak the words that we speak, if we speaking life, we give birth to a fulfilling relationship. But when we speak death in our relationship, that means we are casting out. We are that means we are destroying our relationship, and our relationship will die because we are speaking the words of death. So we have to speak, no matter how angry you are, no matter how much your spouse have hurt you, speak life, speak the words of uplifting. The words of uplifting is you focus on whatever is going on, focus on the problems. Forget what he did last year, forget what your spouse did 2 days ago, forget what your spouse did 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Focus on the now. The fight, what is the fight about? Focus on that fight. When you do focus on that fight, it gives someone food for thoughts. It shows that you want to resolve issues. It shows that you've moved on from the other problems. It shows that uh, you love each other. Is vital. Is vital when it comes to relationship. Is vital. Think before you talk. Don't take words back. Once a heart is broken, it's broken. It will be broken no matter how much you try to put pieces together. So it is important to actually speak the words that build a relationship, because when you break something, when someone is they're hurt. So you need that person to be able to trust you. You need that person to be able to understand, even though we fight, but we still have this unbreakable bond. Fight with grace in your relationship. Fight with grace. Fight with grace. Fight with grace. So I'm gonna give you guys the words of encouragement. So I'm gonna give you the words just to hold on to. If you want your relationship to work and to live that fulfilling life, you have to have boundaries. You have to understand the power of boundaries for successful relationship. Determine your boundaries. Be assertive in communicating your boundaries. Create a response to violations of your boundaries. Follow through your boundaries. It's very, very important. And understand that your spouse, he he is happy when you're happy with yourself. If you are happy with him, I'm happy. That means you're gonna make me happy. But if you're not, that means you're gonna make me miserable. So live with grace, everyone. We are here at Nkosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. If you are looking for love, you can go to my website and fill out an application form or get in touch. On my website, there is a phone number, there is an email address, so you can email me and we'll take it from there. So I don't just take everyone when it comes to dating. You have to know what you want. Um, Once you know what you are looking for, as long you're not looking for, you are not looking for. Um, there are some people that they register on the dating side and they're already in a relationship, and when they fight they go, I've seen it myself, I've come across with it, when they are fighting with their spouse they want to register with an agency just to rub it off. But Hope Springs is not like that, so you have to be totally single and looking for love. And we have coaches that can help you, prepare you for dates before you go. And Ngozi Talk Shows coaches as well. If you want to get in touch with Ngozi Talk coaches, please do. God bless everyone. Live with grace. See you tomorrow. See you.